The Detroit Lions just made a decision no one expected, and it could change the immediate future of the team's defensive line. A 2024 draft pick that many fans had already overlooked may be about to reappear in the starting rotation. We're talking about Makee Wingo, a name that seemed forgotten but is now once again generating excitement within Detroit. And the story behind this move is catching everyone's attention. Before I tell you why Wingo's return could be a game-changer for the Lions' defense, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because here you'll stay up to date with everything happening behind the scenes at the most talked-about team in the NFC North. And that doesn't stop there. We'll update you with some big news about reinforcements for the Detroit Lions that will surprise all fans, so stay until the end of this update. This just happened and is already dominating the conversation among fans in Detroit. The Lions' defensive line has been performing solidly this early in the 2025 season, but a recent coaching staff decision has rekindled fans' curiosity. Makee Wingo, the young defensive lineman drafted in the 6th round in 2024, may be very close to being reintegrated into the core group. After playing against the Chicago Bears, Wingo was inactive for 3 consecutive games, raising questions about his status. Many believed he might be cut or traded, but the reality seems quite different. Sources within the team confirmed that the staff is carefully evaluating the right time to bring him back, and Dan Campbell, once again, demonstrated a clear plan in mind. Wingo had been recovering from a knee injury that ended his rookie season, and according to Campbell, the player's reintroduction process is completely calculated. The coach explained to Lions on SI that the young defender had little full practice time and that the priority was ensuring he was physically ready and technically tuned before returning. It was good to have him there for a game, and then we thought, hey man, let's give him some more time to recover, get more experience. He'd only had a week of practice, if that. There was no training camp. But we feel like he's improving every week, said the coach. Campbell also highlighted Brad Holmes' work in assembling the defensive line. We have good depth now. We have height, strength, speed, and versatility, so we're in a good position. These statements indicate something that attentive fans have already noticed. The plan for Makee Wingo was never to sideline him, but rather to prepare him for a more consistent return. Campbell has been emphatic since arriving in Detroit. Only those who truly earn their right to play during practice will take the field. He reinforced this again, stating that he closely monitors the players' performances throughout the week. You can earn the right to play again just by the way you practice. We always keep our eyes open during the sessions. I watch everything, both sides of the ball, the scouting team, everything. In other words, Wingo is having to regain his place with daily effort, and according to the coach's comments, he's been doing exactly that. But there's one detail that makes this potential return even more interesting. The chemistry within the Detroit Lions defensive line is at its best since Aiden Hutchinson joined the franchise in 2022. And when a unit is in harmony, adding a new piece, especially a young player with potential and a hunger to prove himself, can be the boost it needs. Hutchinson has been open about this, stating that the group is more united than ever. I think it could even be an energetic thing. Only good vibes bring good energy, and we're producing now, which is what you want. And yes, we have a very close-knit group, probably the most united since I've been here. It's been great, a lot of fun. When you work with guys like that, the days go by quickly, the pass rusher declared. And it's precisely this energy that could pave the way for Wingo's return. He doesn't need to be an immediate star. He needs to be part of a system that's growing together. With an increasingly deep rotation, Campbell can rest starters, adjust formations, and explore different pressure combinations. Wingo brings something the defense values: early explosiveness, gap-closing ability, and aggressive physique that troubles opposing offensive lines. If he's truly 100% and in game rhythm, he could be the kind of quiet reinforcement that changes the defensive dynamic at critical moments in the season. The scenario now is as follows. Wingo continues to train intensely, Campbell is monitoring his progress closely, and the fans are starting to get excited about the possibility of seeing him back in action. Campbell has already made it clear that everything depends on his performance in practice, but there's a growing sense that his return is only a matter of time. And when that moment arrives, it won't just be a revival on the roster, it will be a turning point for a young man who wants to prove he deserves to be there, and for a team that is becoming increasingly solid in the trenches. In short, the Detroit Lions are playing strategically. While the league is talking about big names, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes remain focused on building a roster with real depth. And if McKee Wingo does return to the field, he won't just be another name in the rotation. He'll represent the strength of a project being built with patience, discipline, and confidence. Because in Detroit, nothing comes easy. But when it does, it's because it's earned.
The Detroit Lions have just found themselves facing an urgent situation, and the solution may literally be a phone call away. With two of their top cornerbacks out indefinitely, the team needs to react quickly if they want to maintain the momentum of one of the NFL's best defenses. And that's why the name of Stephon Gilmore, former Defensive Player of the Year and future Hall of Famer, is beginning to resonate loudly within Detroit. The question is simple yet powerful. What are the Lions waiting for to call him? Before I tell you what might be behind this potentially brilliant move, like and subscribe to the channel, because what comes next could completely change the course of Detroit's season. The truth is, the Lions are enjoying one of their most solid moments in recent years. They have 4 straight wins, the second-best defense in the league according to DVOA, and a climate of confidence not seen in a long time. But amidst this positive scenario, a bombshell has exploded. DJ Reed is out for a few more weeks, and now Terrion Arnold, the rookie who had been a standout, is also out, and for a long time, according to Dan Campbell himself. In other words, Detroit is without its 2 starting cornerbacks, and without any guarantee of when they'll be 100% again. At this point, the front office needs to make a quick decision: pursue a high-priced trade, or make the most obvious and smart move of all, call on Stephon Gilmore. It almost seems too simple, but that's exactly it. Gilmore is a free agent, healthy, and eager to win. At 33, he proved last year playing for the Minnesota Vikings that he has plenty of gas left in the tank. He made 15 starts, threw 9 passes, threw 1 interception, and earned a 72.6 run defense rating according to Pro Football Focus, one of the most solid among veterans in the league. And it's exactly this kind of consistency and game reading that Detroit needs right now, especially on a defense so reliant on aggressiveness and pressure from the front 7. With Gilmore, the Lions would gain not only stability, but also immediate leadership in a department that is currently completely in check. The most interesting thing is that this move would make sense not only in terms of performance, but cost effectiveness. Gilmore could sign a short, 1-year contract worth a similar amount to the deal Jaire Alexander struck with the Ravens, somewhere around $4 million. It would be a very small investment for the impact he could make, especially when compared to the price of a trade, which would certainly cost valuable draft picks or a rising star. Furthermore, both Reed and Arnold are not out for the season, meaning Gilmore could take over now and, when the starters return, form an elite rotation. Imagine reaching the playoffs with 3 top-tier cornerbacks ready to rotate and adapt to any offense in the league. This isn't just bolstering the roster, it's setting the stage for a real Super Bowl run. But of course, there's the but every fan wants to know. Is Gilmore fit? He hasn't played this season, hasn't participated in any training camp, and some worry about his pace. However, we're talking about a veteran who has always maintained a high level of physical and mental fitness. He's never missed a season, and anyone who knows him knows that Gilmore is obsessed with preparation. So even if he needs a week or 2 to get into the swing of things, the feedback he can provide is simply invaluable. And let's face it, with his experience, it wouldn't be surprising to see him adapt to Aaron Glenn's system in record time. Now, the point no one can ignore is this: the Lions have no time to waste. The team is in a commanding position with a defense among the best in the NFL, but a drop in performance in the secondary could cost them dearly in the coming weeks. And when a player of Stephon Gilmore's caliber, a champion, former Defensive Player of the Year, and still fueled by another great season, is available and just waiting for a call, there's no excuse for hesitation. It's the perfect opportunity for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to once again show why they're considered one of the smartest and most aggressive duos in the league. In short, the Lions face a decision that could define the course of their season. Ignoring Gilmore would be taking too much of a risk. Bringing him in, on the other hand, could turn a momentary weakness into the strength needed to solidify Detroit as a true title contender. The phone is on the table. The question is, will Holmes have the courage to answer this call? Leave your opinion in the comments. Until the next update.